he can fight. He has a lot of, you know, his journey is not in this tonight. He has a lot of future to fight, and but the good don't be discouraged. This is part of boxing, and I know your journey is not over here. It's not finished. This guy is he's a warrior. I can say that because I've been fighting a lot of opponents, and this guy is heavy-handed, man. This kind of opponent that underestimate. So, but thank you. I mean, of the support, because I did my hard work training for this fight. I think I just blessed because I got him the first round, and that's the key. I think that's the turning the point of being a winner tonight. Just but God is good all the time. So thank you so much for all your support, media, press. Thank you so much.
Rematch, Manny. Rematch.
Okay, now we're going to open it up for questions. We have one right here, Kevin Ioli.
Let me start with Keith. Keith, great fight tonight. I wonder, first of all, there was a lot of talk about Manny being 40 years old before the fight, being a legend. When you got him in the ring, how was he different than you thought? Was he faster, and was there any way that he surprised you with what he did in the ring?
Oh, he was fast, he was strong. You know, the short steps, you know, everything that Manny Pacquiao always has been, you know, he has a lot of it still left in him. I felt like, you know, I was going to give him a pressing fight, you know, even though he knocked me down. I didn't care, I wanted to be in his face. I felt like he was getting a little bit tired in the later rounds, but he does train hard. You know, he trains hard. He kept his hands up. He's been in so many wars that now he knows what not to do. You know, he knows how to utilize his defense a little better, and that was a little bit surprising to me. I knew going into this fight that he's been the more active fighter than me, and even at the age of 40, that's probably the best thing he had going for him, is the constant activity to keep him staying in shape. You know, I told everybody I'm getting back this year after 2 years, and I just thought that Keith Thurman getting back, being the original Keith Thurman, would be able to walk away with a victory today. You know, I felt like I had a good training camp. I could have had a better output in my numbers to go toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao, because, you know, he always brings that the high output. But it was a great fight, man. You know, I feel like I tested him, and I tested myself. I wish that I could given him more. Like I said, though, the rounds were flying by, and it is what it is, man. This is a sport. You got to lock it in round by round, and the judges, you know, they saw it their way, and he's now the new champion. Congratulations to Manny Pacquiao.
Thank you, Keith. Manny, one question for you, if I could, right in the front. Well, two questions I'll put into one. Do you think this was your best performance since you beat Margarito in Dallas? And second, you kept up a pace faster than I can remember you in a long time. When do you think you fought at this kind of a pace last?
What I think, can you say that again, the last?
About your pace, when was the last time you fought at this fast of a pace?
I think I did also my last fight. I always thinking about my best in every fight. I always thinking about, you know, I will tell you this. Every fight that I had and preparing of my fight, my concern is I don't want to disappoint my fans of my performance. That's why every training camp I always punish myself.
Keith, the shot that Manny hit you with in the 5th round, how much damage did that do to your nose, and how was it for you to deal with that for the remainder of the fight?
It wasn't that bad. It just hit me in the right spot and created a leakage. At the end of the day, I had my nose bleeding and sparring a little bit. So I believe that he just placed it right on the button and reactivated something that I went through in training camp. And I just had to deal with it, you know. I remember when my nose was bleeding against Diego Chavez, and just, it didn't bother me too much. I just was focused and just trying to put some pressure on him, land some counters. But he was quite conservative and herky-jerky. And, you know, I started to do better later on in the fight. I really thought I was putting some pressure on him, but my numbers just weren't up to par to be victorious tonight.
Okay. Dan, right there.
Straight back, Manny. Congratulations on your victory. Because you're 40 years old and you just beat one of the very best welterweights out there, an undefeated champion, I wonder if you could look back over the course of your long career and try to put this where it ranks as far as the accomplishment tonight, to beat this caliber of an opponent at this stage of your career.
I think I can rank this like Margarito fight, like De La Hoya fight, Morales fight, the Morales won, Marquez fight, Barrera fight.
Is that in order?
Huh?
Are you putting it in order, or is it
No,
just
no,
all
just
those fights?
mentioning the fights.
And why is that?
Oh, I mean, you saw tonight what we did in the ring. My opponent is very tough and strong also. First time I encounter opponent like heavy-handed like Thurman.
Is it possible to get Freddie's take on that also, since he's been with him for all those fights, Freddie? Just your thoughts about where it ranks as far as in his pantheon of great victories, particularly because of his age.
I think it was a great win. I mean, we fought a good fight. I mean, we've been off for a while, but we had a great training camp, and I thought he did really well in the fight. And we won a close decision, obviously, but a split decision. But like somebody said to me, like, you know, could you say goodbye after this fight? I says, neither fighter has anything to prove. They proved so much tonight. Let's all take a rest right now, and then we'll decide what we're going to do later on. But for right now, we're just going to have a good rest.
Mark Wicker, right over here.
Keith, you had things going your way. You got to the 10th round. That round was going well, and then he hit you with a body shot. How conclusive was that in terms of the fight and the round? Because it seemed like you did a pretty good job just to get out of that situation.
There was so much going, and I felt like I was grabbing some momentum back, and in that moment, you know, I knew it was going to be difficult to really get the judges back on my side for the remainder of the championship rounds. My coach Dan Birmingham said you got to win every round. I felt like I needed to possibly get a knockdown or get back. You know, I think I ended the 10th kind of back with some trades back to Manny. But, you know, I definitely was obviously hurt in that round. And, I mean, it was a close fight. You know, it really was. That's what boxing's all about. You just never know what's really going to happen. You know, obviously he was well prepared. He was in shape. I tried to push him to his limit, and he came out on top.
Win? The 72nd win?
Keith, question for you. You talked about the time off and, you know, the activity that Manny had. If you would have had another couple of fights, do you think it would have made a difference in this fight preparation just by being more active?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've seen champions in inactivity not favor them, you know, from time to time. But I just thought that, you know, I would be able to do some countering, you know, utilize my jab from the outside and really pressure him in the way that I did. You know, some of the things that I wanted to do, I was able to do. But ultimately, I just really feel like in retrospect that I fell short on the number game. You know, a little bit of the defense due to the knockdown in the first round. He really did capitalize on just springing at me while I was moving backwards. You know, I could have utilized more head movement. I showed when I was juking and jiving, you know, I was confusing Pacquiao pretty well in there. I know I have the skills to be victorious in the ring. But yeah, obviously, 22 months out of the game, Jose Cito Lopez and then Manny Pacquiao, you know, I try to stay active, but, you know, maybe another